a short story. My mom is a doctor back home and my mother-in-law. So this sari was for my son's pledge ceremony. So they both were shopping and they were sending pictures and videos and asking me to assess which one is good. So this is the one which is given by both of them. You know how a mother-in-law replaces a mom, so that's the story. So essentially you end up with two moms once you get married. So that's an advantage of this. I just wanted to, before we start with the gynecology part of the talk, I just wanted to have a show of hands with women between 30 and 50 age group to start with, and above 50.
Oh, you have to now.
Thanks for being honest. And could there be an That's good then, we've got that out of the way so the shyness is gone. I wanted to start with the talk thinking that this is the time to actually stop and see where we are.
About my mom, she has been a fighter. She never gave up. She had 5 deliveries and 2 miscarriages. I'm the only one who managed to survive. So being hopeful, being a fighter, I learned it from her. She didn't give up. Astrologist told her, you won't conceive, you won't have a child. Doctors told her not to try, one after another. But she wanted to experience mother. And I'm here because of her, I would say. And her will, her strong determination, and her desire to experience mother. So, hats off to my mom, and I owe my life to her, absolutely. Regarding sharing experiences, there will be many, but I would like to share one in particular. Being only child, you can imagine how much restrictions, how much possessiveness, how much insecurities my mom would be having for me. So, as a child, I used to be naughty. Not that I've changed. Yeah. So, being naughty, I would randomly end up being into minor accidents. So I had a couple of fractures, I had broken fingers. So my mom would tell me to go outside and avoid outdoor activities. But I would hardly listen. Being a child, you want to play and keep playing. So I had 3 fractures, 2 surgeries, 1 plastic surgery. You can see my fingers are not in shape. So I was being restricted not to play outdoor at all. Being a child, and mom was putting so many restrictions, I wouldn't listen. So I started hiding from her. And I continued to play my sports. So I was playing basketball, and the finger which had the plastic surgery on, the plastic nail went right inside my finger. And I refused my friends to call my mom because I was hiding that I'm playing and more restrictions would come. So I was more fearful of having more restrictions, so I was hiding. So my friends waited for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the bleeding wouldn't stop. And I was almost like about to faint. That's when my friends got worried. And they called mom and doctors. When I opened my eyes, I was in hospital. And my half the finger was amputated. You can see here. So I learned my lesson, obviously. I stopped playing so much. But I didn't stop being childish, or I didn't stop being naughty still. But I really apologized to my mom after that. And I learned it when I became mother, how much my mom would have gone. And I have two daughters, so now I understand. When I used to come late, how insecure she would feel, or how she was feeling. That it's not just being only child, it's being a mother, I think. Those insecurities. So, yeah. That's one of the experiences. There are many though. Thank you for listening.
My story, to start with, for me, mom, strong ladies raise up strong daughters, and my mom is a very strong one for that. And my mom didn't have the best of the education or the best of the clothes, but she had a very, very, very big heart. and she had love for each and every one of us. I mean, including the kids and the other things. This is the saree she brought me 5 years back, and I'm still waiting for her to come here again. But because of COVID and the current situation, I don't think that's happening soon. But this is the saree she likes because she knows I love black and I love bling, so that's taken care of in both the things. And the most important story about my mom that Purnima said we need to speak a bit about is that those who are from Bombay know there were riots in Bombay in '92, and we had a home help who was a Muslim girl, and she used to stay on the streets rather, and she used to work in our home. And when the things happened, things really got bad for them, and they were not really safe. And she came to our house and asked, could I stay with you till I can get a better shelter or something? So my mom did agree to let her stay with us. My dad, my grandma and everybody was against it, but my mom strongly, that's when I realized how strong my mom was, who otherwise would not raise her voice for anything. So then she said, no, she's staying with us. Then we had this well-meaning uncles and aunts from the buildings who came up to us and said it's not safe for us to keep her in the house, but still my mom kept her stand. And she let her stay with us till she felt safe. So that was the moment when I realized that if you believe in something, you need to stand up for it, no matter what your people who you believe are family, no matter what they say or want to talk you out of it, you need to stand your grounds. And that's how she has raised us 3 sisters. So for me, she is the best mom in the world. And for everybody, the mom is the best, and that's all I would like to say. Thank you.
My mom is a very simple lady, but she's very smart. And when you see her, she's very innocent, but pretty much intelligent. She can get away with any situations. Sharing about a story. She loved feeding the people. That's the best one. She loved it every time. And normally she generally go to a small shop nearby to get some fresh vegetables every day because she's a sugar patient, so we want her to walk a little bit. One day she was walking around and a boy, I still remember, he's only in age 13, something like that, was running in this bicycle and she snatched her chain. And she was just trying to catch that boy, but the boy accidentally hit on some motorbike and he fell off, and the motorbike guy ran away, and the boy has got fainted. And my mom was able to reach that place by then. And when he saw her, she took the boy with somebody's help, and he took to my home, which is close by, and she started feeding and everything. And we are asking where the boy is from, and she said, he's the guy who snatched her chain. We all got into our head, my brother and my son were all like, why she's bringing her? But when the boy wake up, we realized that boy had a sad story. Like, the boy doesn't have a father, and to feed her mom, he doesn't know what to do. And her mom is sick, his mom is sick, and so he's just snatched he's the first time, and he got it from my mom. And then somehow then we helped him. And then later he became an engineer. Yeah, he's working now in NTPC. He's a best friend he's like my brother now. We're still in contact with them. And the first thing, when he came after his marriage, he came to my home with his wife. And what he was telling is, he said, this is a mom who made me an engineer, otherwise I would become a thief now. And he was full of tears, such a wonderful mom is my mom. And she also have in India, I'm from South India, and in India we have a street people where they sell the Spanish leaves and stuff like that. So those people, they have children where they can't, they'll be having to pay the fees. They have only half the fees, and they don't have money to pay. And she will be running around everywhere, and she doesn't believe them, because if you give money, they will use it for their food or anything else. So she wants the children to study. So she will say, she get the details, and then she will ask us to go. I've been to most of the school in and around our place, even knowing, I don't even know who am I paying. I'm just given the name and the class, and then that's one of our duty to pay. It's that way she helps a lot. And she wants to be helpful for such a nice, wonderful man. but unfortunately, she passed away 17 years ago. And I still love her. Love you, ma'am. Thank you for giving opportunity. Thank you.
Here I want to mention two ladies in my family. One is my grandmother. She gave birth 6 children, and my mother-in-law gave birth 7 children. Hats off to them. I don't know how they bear that much of pain. On this special day, I would like to tell some proud incidents happened with my children. One is my elder son got his internship immediately after finish his year 12 along with a job. Actually, I don't know that time what is internship and all those things. I told him, look for some jobs after your 12 finish in this shop, supermarkets like that. That was so surprised to me, and my joy doesn't have words the way he related to. And the other occasion was my younger son who was studying first year university in commerce. Suddenly he came one day home with the news, he got a seat in medicine. I'm so shocked. The way he studied without telling me, and the way he announced was a really thrilling experience. Actually, I'm a single mother. I came with the 2 children here, and my parents, my in-laws, everybody, are you sure? Are you able to bring the children up? I said yes. If I can't, I will come back, but I should try.
When I volunteered to talk about mom, I was too confident I will find out funny and inspiring stories about my mom, but that everyone would relish. But as time passed on, it was painfully evident that yes, I know the lady, I know her journey from my perspective. I can relate to her struggles as a mother, but little do we remember about the instances or anecdotes to share. Our memory fails us when we come to share her with others. I do remember when my dad forgot the directions to the car service center and shied away to call mom for a whole hour, or when he doesn't remember his patients when they meet him outside. Or all the inspiring instances where and how he was the epitome of success and pillar of strength for us. But with mom, it was a blanket of comfort. It is not a bouquet of roses, but a surrounding of warmth. It is she who verbalized dad's stories. It is she who keeps them fresh. But what about her stories? Then I did what my kids say, let's play from the beginning. Then I remembered a lot. The major one being my engineering days when microprocessors was my arch nemesis. I was getting panic attacks and was not ready for the annual exam. Her calm demeanor and advice helped me get through the line, not only through the exam, but also through the tough situations that my career threw. She dropped 3 daughters at hostel, prepared everything thrice, and was a rock for everyone in the family. While dropping the last little birdie, she still cried like the first time around. I remember me hugging her and joking to make the situation light. She responded by saying the ever-saturated phrase, "Jab tumhare bacche honge, tab pata chalegi." On a lighter note, Mom, please take that curse away. I think I've learned a few lessons.
So my journey begins. Our first year in Sydney, and the first Christmas, my son was presented with a gift, a book that was called Whoever You Are by Mem Fox. The lady who gifted this book, a Bengali lady who's no more because she passed away last year, she was very dynamic because she always wore a sari to every event. To a shopping mall, to parent-teacher interviews. She believed that the sari was an expression of her identity. It also spoke volumes of where she comes from. It spoke volumes of her heritage, and she just felt proud being an Indian. And that actually really touched my heart because I felt I'm in this country and I'm trying to adapt to a more westernized culture. And I had to mention the sari because, we are here all very proud of, the sari group that we are a part of. And the book actually spoke of, in very simple words and beautiful illustrations, as to how we all can speak different languages, we all have different skin colors, we could all wear different clothes, or we all come from different lands. But inside, we're all the same when it comes to feelings, we're all the same when it comes to our blood, and we all share or feel the same kind of happiness and joy. Now that became like my starting point, or my story to talk to the boys of how they could sort of start adapting themselves to this new land, to this new country. Fast forward a few years, and I remember my oldest son was having swimming lessons, and he came out and told me, "Oh, Mom, did you think it was easy to spot me in the pool?" And I said, "Oh yeah, very easy." And he said, "You know what? It's so nice to be brown skinned and amongst the white bodies." And I said, "Yes." That was my feel-good moment. He's proud of being an Indian. Then the second incident was when my younger son, who played his first ever club cricket, and he's at the end of the season, he had this tan which was the darkest shade of brown. So I casually told him, I said, "You know what? I think I need to give you a milk and almond scrub at the end of your season just to get your tan off." And his instant response was, "Oh, no, I don't want to look any fairer because then I won't look Indian." That was my second feel-good moment, because I thought, yes, good, they're really proud of where they come from, they're proud of their skin, and they're standing up to it very well. Fast forward 2021, my younger son's at high school, right now, at this very minute, he is leading a forum and a meeting on cultural diversity and gender equality with Elizabeth Broderick, who is a United Nations human discrimination person who works with Sydney University. Wow. And that is my very feel-good moment, because a simple story from a book that was just emphasizing inclusivity, diversity, and respecting different cultures and understanding different human beings for just who they are. I thought this was my story, and this was my very feel-good moment. Thank you.
Talking about myself as a mom, I think the first feeling was that 2 a.m. on a July night, when I couldn't wait till morning to take the pregnancy test when I missed my period, and 2 a.m. I go and I see the 2 lines. I think that was the first feeling. But the actual completeness of the family, probably I felt it during my second child. So she was not doing well when I was expecting her. There was a constant issue with her growth. And after the 7th month, when we could start feeling her, my abdomen layer is very thin. So in fact, the gynae used to tell me that she could see the parts from outside. So it was a routine every day after dinner where my son, would talk. That was a time when she would be very active. So she would keep kicking, and we could see her foot. So that was almost an everyday exercise. And his Kindi teacher's name was Aisha. And he said, "I think it's a baby girl and I'm going to name her Aisha," So that was a everyday routine. And yeah, it was Aisha, So the moment she was born, immediately I had messaged everyone, "We are blessed with a baby girl, Aisha," and they were like, "Was the name ready?" So even today, my son tells my daughter that I prayed, and that's why you are alive and kicking. So be thankful.
With a lot of strong women around me. My grandmother, I would say, was one of the strongest women I have ever known. She got widowed at a very young age. My dad was around 2.5 years old, and she had 4 kids. In fact, my uncle was born posthumously. Nothing stopped her. She educated all 4 of them. She educated herself, whatever she could, and she raised all 4 of them single-handedly. She was very adamant that she's going to bring a very strong daughter-in-law home, so my mom came. My mom got married when she was 19-year-old. She left her home in Jaipur to move to Punjab all the way to my dad. She did not know the language. She was a shy woman. She hadn't stepped out of the house. She's still living there, and believe it or not, she hasn't learned Punjabi. She still speaks in Hindi. It is very heartwarming to hear the conversation with all the friends. She has she's a social butterfly. She has a whole lot of friends, and it is very heartwarming to hear them speaking Punjabi and she responding in Hindi. She brought us up, both me and my sister and my brother, with one notion: be independent, just like what Yamini said. You have to be independent. You cannot rely on anyone but yourself. And that you can do anything in the world. There's nothing that can stop you. If you put your mind to something, you can achieve it. And I think that stood in a really good stead with me, and that's how I've grown up and moved countries and achieved whatever I've achieved in my life. When I became a mom, I did not know. I had a hard pregnancy. I wasn't even sure for a very long time whether I wanted to have kids or not, how they're going to disrupt my life and all that. But then looking around, and I thought, oh, at least maybe I should have one.